Hello everyone, and I hope that you're having a good Thursday. Um, I was thinking about a couple of different things today around healing and what we can do to have a little bit of relief. Because one of the things I'm hearing a lot about right now is anxiety and stress, and with very good reason. There's a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress right now, but uh, what we have is we have this gift. We have this gift and this ability to um, to talk with one another, to connect with one another, to provide healing for one another or with one another. And when I think about, I mean, there's no simple remedy for these things. There's no like, oh, this is like the fast, easy way to do anything, because there's just not a fast, easy way to do anything. But what we do have is we do have an ability to be touched by life, to be um, seen by each other, to have meaningful conversations that are different conversations than the ones that we've had before. And so, what's true is if we want to see something different, then we have to do something different, and that goes for us individually in our lives, and that also goes for us in our relationships, and it goes for our relationships with community, and for our very basic relationships with each other. So if we are just the extension of honor and respect and care for ourselves, for our one-on-one relationships, and then for our relationships to our families and our loved ones, and our relationships with and to our community. And so how do we bring a sense of kindness and connection, and taking care of one another, talking with one another, sharing with one another? How can we do something different? And I think that that's how is just simply by saying something, doing something together that is different. Um, they talk about how there's this familiar, this sense of the familiar, and what's familiar right now just isn't very healthy. What's familiar in our in many ways is not healthy. There's also some places that are familiar where things are healthy. And so, how can we bring what is healthy and nurturing and nourishing and loving into all our relationships, into our daily lives? How can we bring that that sigh of relief, and bring relief to ourselves and to others? So I think one of the ways we can do that and overcome, not overcome per se, but kind of enter into the anxiety and talk to it and be like, hey, hi fear, hi anxiety, hi, how are you? How have you been doing? Like, if we could bring some love to those feelings, or some care to those feelings, or some like listening to them, right? So what we can do is we can listen to those things, and um, attend to them, give them like some kind of attention that is a healing form of attention. And so how can I do that? And how can I bring attention to things that's actually really nurturing and really nourishing? And how can I bring attention to my loved ones, to my life, to my relationships, in a way that just feels really nurturing and nourishing, and bring that energy to myself also. There's also something really interesting that we have called friendship, and relationships with people who care about us. And one of the things that we can ask ourselves is, we can ask ourselves, am I reaching out to the people that care about me? In this last couple of years, we have been able to be close to people, but we've had to do it through kind of extraordinary means, right? So we've had this let me clean my glasses here. Uh, this past 2 years, we've had to reach out through these other methods. But another thing that we need, in addition to the contact, in addition to the intimacy, in addition to the conversations, is we need touch and we need intimacy and we all need love. Everybody needs it. There isn't anyone who doesn't need it. And so it's important that we're making sure that we're giving and receiving love. And that's one of the things that we've come here to the planet to do, is to learn about that, and to learn about giving love and to learn about receiving love. And so, where am I able to do that? And how else can I get relief? I can do something different, something I haven't done before, even if it feels uncomfortable. But the key to making sure that our relationships are going well is to communicate, right? So it's always good for us to ask, like, oh, what am I communicating? How am I communicating? Am I able to communicate in such a way that it makes more love in this interaction between me and this other person, or that it grants respect or regard, or even if other feelings are present, the knowledge that every feeling can be present in the same moment, and we can still love someone even if we have a myriad of other experiences that we're having at the same time. But if we can do something different that we haven't done before, I think about, there's several different things that I think about, but I think about also the guidance systems that are available to us, where we can make another choice because we have the guidance of our heart, or we have the guidance of our mindfulness and a mindfulness practice. We have our body that can share with us what it's experiencing and how it wants to experience things, body knowledge, body wisdom. Our body is always sharing with us what's going on. We also have our soul, or any spiritual guidance that we might have. We may also have actual human guides, or guardians, our mentors, or helpers. And so we can also listen there. Also, we have nature, and nature is constantly sharing with us. And so we can look to nature to show us uh, any messages or guidance, or just friendship, right? Simply friendship. And so we can look also at, well, what kind of friend am I? And am I the kind of friend I would want to have? And am I making invitations for other friendships? And what I know is, that I have several friends who've died very recently, and very long-term friends. But I also have new friends that I've made, and so I have old friends that are still alive and that I talk to often, and that's wonderful. I have friends of 20, 30 years and over, which is wonderful, and I'm so grateful for that. And then I have some friends that were my friends for like 30 years, and they've recently crossed. And then I also have friends that I've made that are becoming like old friends. I was saying that to them the other night, like, oh gosh, it's so interesting how, it just seems like I met you so recently, but really we met like 6, 7, 8 years ago. And so it's like that those friendships, if we can show up to them, if we can extend our love to other human beings in our lives, then we have the support of those friendships. We also have friendships in nature. And like, I have a couple of trees that are my friends. I have several animals aside from my cat, who I love, who are my friends. I have these these really beautiful birds that come to our house. There's two flickers actually on the roof again today. They keep coming. It's so great. And then I also heard them tapping on the chimney. So they are also our friends, and they say that ravens and crows recognize us, and that they recognize people who are safe and people who are not. And so we have this ability, this opportunity, this gift of being able to have friendships not only with other human beings, but also with other species. And so what we want of birds and trees and animals, and so that it's not just human beings. So I think that some of the remedies for some of our fears, some of the things that can really help us, is to communicate and to connect with each other and with nature, with our ancestors, with our hearts, with our minds, with our bodies, and to extend new levels of honor and respect toward ourselves and others. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. And I wanted to end with just a little poem here from my book, Honey Collections. And it is the book, let me, a poetry book. And this is a poem on friendship. And it says, "We don't know what these are, but we wonder their shimmering green Crowns, they move through the water as though they almost cannot bear the deep rain and must submerge to the sweet water for relief. I see such rare creatures here, the navigations of earth and air, a certain kindness yesterday, an eagle, each day now the trifecta of cormorants, each day the grebes, mahogany, wood ducks. As they move offshore to join in an inlet that holds us, a sanctuary that reminds us, tenuous, precious moments, new dream now held, not shared, but kept as treasure, sensitive, waters too deep for some. Shallow enough to keep me wondering, not to name birds, but to allow them to name me. Not to name birds, but to allow them to name me. To come as a new friendship, an opening of hands, of wings, of welcoming, an opening of hands, of wings, of welcoming. And so another way that we can tap into our center and our kindness is by writing or painting or accessing our creative well that is within us, and hopefully brings more wellness and well-being to ourselves and to the other people that are around us. So may we all follow our guidance this week, and I will see you next Thursday.